Hey there, this is Sen from EistenGaming. Welcome to the stream. This is a special one. We're going to have a look at StreamTeam, a piece of software I started working on a few weeks ago, out of a necessity of my own really, which is that when I started going into content creation and doing Twitch streaming and going into YouTube and all this kind of neat stuff, I had the issue that I had no idea what to stream, how the whole thing worked, and where to get information from, and etc. So the whole thing was a bit of a mystery to me. It took me quite a while to do the research, and I'm still at it. I'm not a pro yet, so I need to learn a lot. I need to improve the whole thing. I need to get this up and running. And what I was missing was tool support. The information to do that is actually really fragmented. It's all over the internet. There's a lot of cool people helping you with the creation of videos, with the content, how to stream, what games to play and stuff like that. But the advice is usually the same with all of them. While I think that's generous for them to share all this information, it kind of is also, let's say, individual to the streamer. Because I have a special, I don't know, a special niche I want to fill. I have a special habit of playing a certain amount of games, a certain type of games, stuff like that. So I need to do my own research. And doing that is quite difficult, really. There is not a lot of cool tools which help you doing that. This is actually the reason I decided to do my own tool. And as I progressed, I saw there might be a need in the community for this kind of tool in general. So I put it onto GitHub, made it open source, and made it available for all of you to download and have a look. It's work in progress. It's in heavy development, so it's not finished by any means. But it is, let's say, my contribution to the content creation. Also a bit of a thing to help myself getting to grips with the content creation world. Anyways, having said that, the tool is called StreamTeam or EistenGaming StreamTeam. It's on GitHub. Let me show you the website. There you go. So this is the GitHub repository. It's, as I mentioned, called in EistenGaming, it's called StreamTeam. Just go there. There is one release tag. So if you want to just download the binaries and have a go, enter your Twitch ID and your Twitch code, then go for that one. If you want to build your own, contribute and extend it, do whatever you want with it, download it. There's an instructional section below where we go over how to clone it and what kind of dependencies you have, how to set up the system, how to make it work. We will have a general look at StreamTeam, how it works, the underlying ideas, and also what I want to achieve with this really. But if you're interested in it, go for the GitHub repository. There is also a projects page which you can reach by clicking on projects, then going to StreamTeam, and there is the, let's say, my little helper Kanban board to make sure I'm not missing any features, that I have a little bit of planning going on, but that's it. If you want to contribute, I'm happy to hear your thoughts, have your input on any of the channels. Hit me up on our Discord, join the team if you want to, leave some comments here, tweet, private message, whatever works for you. So having said that, let's have a look at the actual program. What I'm using is, I'm using a framework called Quasar. Quasar is a meta framework as it wraps quite a lot of technology under the hood. The webpage for it is quasar.dev. Let me just jump back to the website. It's quasar.dev. And let me just open it up. There you go. It's quasar.dev. This is the main page of the framework. The most important thing you will need is the docs, documentation. So this is the API documentation. There's a lot of examples, and I have to say the page is really well done. It is a good page. The description is really good, and these folks are amazing. The Quasar folks are really cool to work with because they also offer support forum. Let me just open this up quickly. Oh, I can't control click, so let's do it this way. And there's a help, get help from other users, and the devs themselves, as well as other users, are active here all the time. And they're extremely quick usually. usually you will get feedback within a few hours, or at least at the same day. So have a look at the forum and go into the Quasar page, the Quasar documentation, to get the API docs ready for your programming. So this is the framework I'm using. Quasar wraps quite a few, as I mentioned, quite a few other frameworks. And the main advantage of Quasar, of using Quasar, is you will have one code base which covers all the platforms. So if you want to go for Windows, if you want to go for Mac, for Linux, for browser, single page, or dynamic, or you want to go for a tablet, for an iOS device, or you want to go for an Android device, you just write the code once and you deploy it on all the different platforms using Quasar. So Quasar is the one-stop shop if you want to go multi-platform, because it takes a lot of the scaffolding, a lot of the boilerplate code that you need. Otherwise, it takes away from you. And you can just write your code base, write your business logic once, and make sure that it works as intended, and then you can distribute onto the platform. So the Quasar framework takes away a lot of work if you want to go multi-platform. Even if you're just going for 2 platforms, for example, if you want to do Electron on the PC, Mac, Linux, and you want to go for a web page version of it, use Quasar. Under the hood, as I mentioned, as Quasar is a meta framework, there's a lot of stuff going on. And the main thing you need to know is that it uses Vue.js, which is an extremely strong framework for a web framework. Vue.js is JavaScript based. It has a very specific syntax, and it is extremely strong, extremely powerful if you want to do rich UIs and really rich content. You see this when you start up the application. One thing I want to mention is if you download and use Quasar, I would strongly suggest that you also use the CLI, the command line interface. If you're a dev, you know what this means. It means tool support. It means that you have commands, which I'll show you a few from the CLI, help you greatly to expedite your development process, your development work. It just makes life easier if you work with a Quasar framework. And it's actually kudos to the guys, the Quasar guys. It is really a well-rounded out, a very stable platform, a very stable meta framework. And these guys do this, I think they do this full-time. There's quite a few of them. They have nice funding going on for them, which is cool. So without much ado, actually, let's jump into this. And one thing which I can show you immediately is how the CLI works to start up a development environment for your project, or how to do a build. So if you're on the project page, this is the project structure. There's a lot of stuff in that. If you want to start the development version using Quasar, you go for Quasar dev Electron, for example. I'm usually using Electron on the PC to test the application. What this means is it starts a development environment, it starts a debugger, and it also mentions that you want to work using Electron, the Electron framework. By the way, if you're using Discord, this is the Electron framework. Everything you see on Discord, the UI of it is based on Electron. Quite a few other applications use Electron as well. So if you aim for PC, Mac, Linux, the Electron framework is an extremely cool thing. What it actually is, it's a Chromium or a Chrome browser wrapped in an application. It's actually this. So you're running a web page in a browser. So this is StreamTeam. This is the 0.6 version of StreamTeam. What you see is it started the application. It also started the developer tools. And you know that kind of layout. You know that if you work on Chrome, if you work in web development, if you work on Firefox, and even probably Edge, they have this kind of tool support built into the browser. If you press a certain key, I think it's F11 for the Chrome browser, it will start up the dev environment. It does this automatically for Quasar if you run the command that I just set up, which is Quasar dev-m Electron. Electron's the platform you want to work on, and dev means development environment. Okay, so this is the application. This is the developer tools where you can do the debugging. Visual debugging is extremely strong, as you would expect from a web-based application. It is really based on HTML. So everything that's rendered is HTML5, I think. If you start it up, you will see that it loads onto a homepage which boasts or shows the top games, the top 5 games, the top 5 streams, and the top 5 feature streams. This is a definition that I'm using as a standard. This can be put into the settings, so you can have 10 of each or whatever. This is open to your how you like it, really. The thing is, there's a limit on the Twitch API concerning the amount of titles, the amount of streams, the amount of games you can download in one go. So this brings me to one important topic. The focus of development currently for StreamTeam is Twitch. So I'm developing the Twitch part of the application first, then I go to YouTube, and then I go to Facebook Gaming, since Mixer is dead. They have died, I think, 2 weeks ago or something. Okay, so yes, there is limitations on the Twitch side. I think it's 100 of each, so 100 top games, 100 top streams, and 100 featured streams, if there are that many. So there are a few limits, but I'll take care of this on the programming side. You don't have to take care of this on your side. I'm tweaking this on the programming side. The general idea of StreamTeam is to be able to do research on all 3 platforms in one tool. This means what games are played, how many viewers do these games have, how many live channels per game is, for example, something which you could research using this tool, and how does this develop over time. If you want to do research on a specific topic, on a specific game, this tool helps you doing that. So this is the homepage. Then the analytics dashboard is a bit of a more specialized version of this, because it allows you to actually, in this case, for the top games, it allows you to list how many you want. Let's go for 50. And this might take a few seconds because we're doing quite a lot of queries in the background to get all this information. First, we're looking for the top games, then we're looking for the images, and then we're looking for the additional content, then we're doing the presentation on screen. So this is the top 50 games which are at this minute, at this second, live on Twitch. So this is real time. So of course, number 1 is League of Legends. Then Just Chatting, by the way, is quite interesting. There's a ton of people always active in Just Chatting. I have no idea what this means. I have looked into this, and this is everything from people dancing to people cooking to people just reciting books. So everything is in there. Then also a well-known title, Fortnite, and then it goes down the list. The interesting thing about this is if you do your research for content creation and defining what games you want to stream, this changes if you check it on the afternoon, in the evening, or in the morning. There's different titles. In the morning, for example, Just Chatting is the most important thing. In the late afternoon, Just Chatting is really high. Late at night or in the late evening, late night, then Just Chatting is not really in the top 10. But the games are. So this gives you a bit of an interesting view into the viewing and playing habits of Twitch users. And this is kind of the idea of this tool. By the way, if you want to do a different presentation of this, this is the kind of tabby presentation. And this is the table presentation. So however you want to do that, you can go for 10 per row, you can go for actually all of them. So it gives you a really long list. But I prefer the big pictures and the nice little images in this way. But it's up to you. You have both possibilities. So there's a question. So StreamTeam is more of a data gather, data analysis, and research tool. Yes, that's one part of it. As I mentioned in the beginning, I have wrote this tool to be able to do this kind of research. But also, as we will see in a minute, I will also do add a planning functionality. So if you want to plan to create a certain amount of content per week, if you want to plan your creation, your video editing work, stuff like that should be in the tool too. I'm not there yet. I'm still working on that. So my current focus was at the first level of, let's say, functionality was on the research side. But the next step, which I'm currently working on, is the planning side. So you can plan your content creation activities with the tool as well. And you can define milestones, you can define growth targets, and then tick them off if you get there. This is kind of the intention. And as I mentioned, there's the actual planning is on the. Let me just quickly show that. The actual planning is on the StreamTeam GitHub page. So this is my Kanban board, and I'm constantly updating that. to add the functionality. Here you see what I'm working on, what I've accepted as to do, and what's done. So have a look at this from time to time. But yes, mainly it is at the current time a research tool. Okay, so we have top games, and we can another thing we can do in the game currently is top streams. But let's actually also go a bit higher. Let's go for 25, and let's look at all the streams for, I don't know, Valorant. In Spanish, let's see if there's anything in Spanish going on. This is quite important if you go for a specific language. The standard I've put in here is English. So you see there's quite a lot of streams which do stream in English, in Spanish. This is Valorant in Spanish. So all the streams, the top 25 streams which currently play Valorant in the Spanish language are listed here. And as I mentioned, this is real time. This can change at any time. And you can do any other language. Let's go for German. Let's give it a try. And each of these sets out a few API calls to the Twitch servers, and it will reply, and I will put together the information for you, display it on the stream. And what you can actually do is, as you see, I've got this hover thing going on, which didn't work. Look at the mouse cursor. This is just the arrow. If you look at top streams, it will be a hand. This means I can click on it, and it will open up the according page. This allows you to jump to the stream directly. Because this is real-time information, it is live. You can jump into the stream and watch it if you want to. So this is something which works already. This is the German language, so you can tweak that as you want. For top streams, you can define the amount of games, the game name, the stream language, and so on. That's the thing. And again, you have the possibility to list it in table view and also in the grid view. The next thing you can do is you can have a look at the feature streams. Feature streams are a bit of a strange beast. These are just curated streams which are defined or selected by the Twitch folks. And sometimes there's really strange stuff in there. So my guess is they also do this actually randomly. I'm not quite sure if a person sits there and actually selects a stream. I've seen very strange things. So yeah, I have no idea how they do that, but this is the featured streams, and it allows you to do the same thing. You can do the table view, you can go for the grid view. And the difference is actually, this is not a box shot of the game. This is a snippet from the video, the current stream I'm taking. So I'm taking a snapshot of the stream, display it here, and you can then, I don't know, select it, go for it. And you can do the same thing. You can, I don't know, click on it, and you're in the same boat as before. This is actually also a way of jumping into the stream directly. Okay, this is featured streams, and the streamer info, the next thing is something that allows you to get a bit more information on a specific streamer. So if you know the streamer name, like in this case, PUBG Mobile, I think that's, yeah. That's the official logo of this streamer. That's the name and the official description of the channel, the game they're currently playing, and the actual viewers. So if you want to go for a bit of information on a specific streamer, this is the way to go. And this is just a placeholder, by the way. Graphics, I'm just testing a bit of graphics capabilities because I wanna use histograms and all fancy charts to really make it look good. This is just a test, so forget that this is dummy information. Okay, so this is the analytics dashboard. We have seen the home, we have seen the analytics dashboard, and the current thing I'm working on is the planning page. Now on the planning page you can do two things. You can go for you can add content topics. The idea behind that is that you can add games and programs that you want to stream later, or that you want to do content for later. So this is kind of a list. Imagine it like a paper list where you note down all the games you want to have a look at later. They might not even be released yet, but you want to keep track of these to have a look at them later. Okay, there's a question. What platforms are gonna be supported? Twitch, YouTube, gaming, and Facebook. Actually, yes, all of them. So this is, as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm having a Twitch focus right now to do the Twitch implementation. The next one will be YouTube, which is the content side, the video upload side, but also the streaming side. And the next will be Facebook Gaming. As I mentioned, since the Mixer platform is dead and has kind of merged with Facebook Gaming, it will be these three. You actually see it here. These are the platforms that I want to cover. So let's actually have a look at this one. So if you want to add a game, let's take Valorant, we want to do Twitch, we want to do on Facebook and YouTube. Let's do everything. This is a shooter, team-based. I don't want to add any links. Let's go for it. So this is how you add something to the list. I have it already, so that's kind of a double entry. But this is how you add a game in the list. And what it does, it looks for the game title and it does a fuzzy matching. So if you're not completely correct, it should fix that. The application should accommodate for that. And it will download a box shot. So if you have Valorant, if you have a valid title, it will go to Twitch, look for a box shot and download it. So you have a nice picture here going on. You can delete the stuff and you can edit the stuff. So you can click on these and you can then push the information back into the form and you can edit it and save it back again. This is still buggy. The editing is still buggy. I'm working on that actually today. So this is not working, but the adding and deletion is working already. So this is the planning side. So you can add content topics, which means you can add games to watch, you can add ideas that you want to do on stream. Then the next thing, this is not developed yet, is to schedule that. So you can have a schedule on a timeline where you can add work topics or to-dos relating to these games. For example, edit the Valorant video from yesterday night or whatever you want to do. And the next one would be goals. So you can set your growth goals, your stream goals, your I don't know, any goals you have when developing your brand as a content creator should be going here. And there will be additional functionality as we go along. So this is the planning side. So we have the research side, we have the planning side, and we will add additional stuff as we go along. And actually also based on the feedback I get from you guys, where you see a benefit for you when you miss a feature or something like that, I will add that. Okay, then there's developer tools. This is actually usually hidden, and it's also a placeholder because I'm doing logging, I'm doing error handling in here, and this is usually not available. It is available right now because I'm in dev mode. I have unlocked it, of course, but this will be custom logging and custom error handling. That's not really something that you need to cover if you're not into developing. Okay, the next question. Are you planning to add platforms comparison for the same game as where it's more popular, where the engagement of a specific game is higher? Actually, it is not planned, but this is a brilliant idea. Thanks. This is actually something that is possible because I have the information. I can do the queries on all the three platforms and then do a comparison. This would be something for the analytics dashboard. Let's say go for top games per platform or something like that, and then have a graph where it shows the engagement on Twitch, number of viewers on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook Gaming. Yes, this is a brilliant idea. I will take a note. This is a good idea. Thanks for the input. Okay, then there's about. This is just the copyright thing. It's an MIT license, so you can actually do anything you want. You can use it commercially. I would appreciate a shout out, but you don't need to. And yeah, this is the most liberal license I can give you. There's nothing more liberal than that. And then there's these settings, and this is quite an important part because you can do two main things here. One is the most important part in any application whatsoever is dark mode. So the first thing I think I've written in the application was to provide for dark mode because I hate bright white applications, especially as I'm a night owl. I work at nights mostly. This is horrible to work like this because my eyes get tired and I feel like I'm grilled on the workstation. So dark mode is there, which is quite important. Developer mode is what I just mentioned. You can unlock that if you have a specific key. Currently it's available to anyone who downloads the application. Then there's a few notification settings. This is not really doing much right now. It is just there to do a little tweaking if you want to have notifications. This will be here. The most important thing though is the accounts. Here you can add your Twitch account. I need to turn my ideas generator mind down a bit. No, actually, go ahead. I love these ideas. Before I overload you. Actually, I'm happy. Oh, by the way, the best way of doing this, of pushing ideas, and I would really appreciate if you could do this with your first idea. Go to Discord into the appropriate channel in the Streamist. You have access to them. You're a team member anyway, so you have access to them. Go for the features channel and just type feature request colon and then add your idea. And if you have more than that, just put them there. I will review them and I will add them to the Kanban planning. Actually, I love this feedback. I need this feedback because I have only so many ideas, and since I'm working on it a lot, I'm usually getting idea blind, or whatever this is called in English. So go ahead, do that. Don't hold back. If you have ideas, put them on Discord and I will add them to the planning. Okay, the accounts is the most important thing because it allows you, it gives you access to the APIs of the platforms. So there's two things that you need to know. One thing is some platforms allow you access without having a client ID or a client secret. The downside is the access is heavily limited. I cannot access a lot of information, and I wanna actually access as much information as possible. So what you need to do, if you have a content account or content creator account on one of these platforms, you are able to generate a client ID and a client secret. This is the Twitch version. I'm not quite sure how it works on YouTube and on Facebook. I haven't looked into the APIs yet, so I'm focusing on Twitch, as I mentioned. So you will have the possibility to add the credentials. How you get these credentials is actually a guideline, I think, on the GitHub page. Let me see. I think yeah, there you go. So this is the thing that you want to follow. This is the command that you need to read. Click on the link which is provided here, which allows you to create your own client secret and also gives you a hint where you find your client ID. If you have a Twitch account, you will have a client ID already. You just don't know where to look. So follow the link, follow the GitHub documentation on the StreamTeam page, and you will find the information you need. Once you have this, you can generate a secret, you can add the client ID and the secret, put it here, save it. Actually, it would look like this. Select the platform, go for Twitch, add the account name. This can be any odd name, just more than three characters. The client ID, the client secret, and you can show and hide it here if you want to. This is a typical password feature, and then you can add it. You can also edit it, whatever you like. So if you want to edit it, go for this, and then edit your stuff, and then save it. Okay, this you can do currently for the Twitch platform only. I haven't implemented YouTube or the Facebook gaming side of this yet. So this is important. Once you have this information entered, you are able to use these features. If you start up the application without this information, you will get nothing. You will get an empty application. I know I will add some kind of hint, or I will add information that you need to do this before you can get information. But currently, this is how it works. So first thing, start up the application, go to settings, go to accounts, add the Twitch platform credentials, give it a name, give it add the account client ID, add the account client secret after you have created one. You need to generate one on the web page that is listed, as I mentioned. Then save it, and you're good to go. You can go back to the home page, and you will see the information streaming in, coming in. Okay, so this is how it works. This is how you start the development client, and one more thing that I wanted to show you today is we go back to the CLI, which is the command line interface, and we will do a build. So if you want to do an optimized build for the application, you can go like this. Quasar build -m Electron. This means build it for the Electron platform. As I mentioned, Electron is the UI framework, browser-based UI framework which is available on Linux, Mac, and Windows. And for example, Discord is a good example of an Electron application, and it is really nice to work with. It has some security issues that I need to address because I think there's a vulnerability in there which I need to address, but this is something I will cover during the development process. So this is the build. It will run a lot of background jobs. And as you see, it takes a bit of a while because it does a lot. I have mentioned in the beginning that Quasar CLI, the command line interface, does a lot of development tool automation. And this is really what you want, because it does a ton of stuff, like adding the icons for the windows, like packaging all the stuff. This is done automatically. Just add a few plugins and ask me for details if you want to do that. Do add a few plugins which will take care of the icon handling, and you're good to go, and everything is done correctly. So if you have built this like this and you have a success, you can start the application. I have the link here already. You can start the application and it will turn up, and this is now the built version of the application. You see that it starts quicker, and the other difference is there's no debugging. Of course there's no debugging, but this is the build, this is the production version of it. You don't want the debugger turning up when you do a production setup. So this is how the building and how the development setup works. Okay, we have gone over the tools, we've gone over the CLI, we've gone over the framework. One last thing I want to show you is that even the upgrading of the whole framework is done extremely nicely. Let's give it a shot. Okay, this is the command, Quasar upgrade I. I means install it. So if I would just do this, it would go to the repository, check and match versions, and see whether there's updates or not. In this case, the Quasar framework, the extras, has an upgrade from 1.90 to 1.93. Now, nothing has been installed because I'm just running the check. If I'm adding the I, it will install, download, check, download, and install everything, as you will see in a few seconds. Now, this is really, really nice. And this is why I chose the Quasar framework over other frameworks to develop this, this application. Just the help and the scaffolding and the support, tool support you get with the Quasar framework, with Quasar CLI, is just brilliant. It frees up so much time for actual development. All right, there you go. Now we have updated the extras, and let's actually check what has changed. Okay, the packages, of course. Let's do a commit, and then we're good to go. Okay, we've upgraded to 1.9.3, I think. Yes. So let's push that. By the way, I'm using, as I mentioned, GitHub, which is Git based, and I'm using Git LFS, the large file system plugin, because I'm using a lot of PNGs and JPEGs and stuff like that, which are binary, and you always want binaries in, if you work with Git, you want binaries to be handled by LFS. Otherwise, it will get really messy and the commits will be huge. You don't want that. This will run into issues. I had this, I learned the hard way, so do it right. Install LFS, the large file system, the large files plugin, Git LFS, and you're good. You need to add the endings. You need to tell Git which file types, file endings need to go into LFS. But there's documentation online. You will find that. Just use LFS if you go for Git, if you work with this repository. Okay, I'm taking one last question. This will be a short stream, only 40 minutes, but it was the intention to give you a quick rundown of the tool, how it's developed, and I think I will do a regular on the EG.Streamist, probably once a week or once every 2 weeks, to show you the upgrades, the progress, and we might even do a bit of pair programming or group programming online. And yeah, that's kind of it. See you next Tuesday for a game stream, next Friday for the Game Dev Toolbox. If you have questions in the meantime, hit me up on any kind of the social media stuff. Follow on Discord, come on Discord, hang out with us, and discuss the stuff. See ya and have a good time. Bye.